man. I'm starting to think we own the Rams. But first,
I think it's official.
let's play that theme music. Welcome, welcome in, and welcome back to the Down South Philly show.
Yes,
We got
sir.
we got Dom in the building. We got DP in the building. We got 3-0 in the building. Ain't no none.
Ain't no numb.
Hey man, I'm starting to think we might own the Rams. What you think?
I think it's official. But going into it, I was like, nah, we have beaten them 9 out of the last 10 times, but we don't quite own them yet. But when you going into a situation where it's like we busted your head 2 times last year. One was to send you home in the playoffs. You want your get back. You done went back. You done went and got Devontae Adams. Y'all done read up offense, defense, and you come into the game and stop Saquon, and you still lose, and we spot you what 7-20 something, and we own them. We
Hey
own them.
man, the proof is in the pudding. This was their best chance in the past 3 meetings to beat us realistically, and we still found a way to overcome and prevail. Obviously, we got a lot to talk about, but give me your initial thoughts on this game. Like how you feel about the overall, how the game went, how you feel about where we are. Just let me know how you feeling about this one.
All right, so let me say how I felt going into the game. So going into the game, I knew it was gonna be a tough game just for those reasons I just named. They wanted they get back. They having a good season so far, 2-0. Everybody low key kind of crowning them. Like right now, everybody low key was kind of crowning them in Green Bay. Now that I think about it, they both lost today. But
Mhm.
anyway, so everybody kind of was crowning them two teams. They was feeling they self. They wanted they get back, and for us the first half of the game wasn't. It was looking like it was gonna end up going their way. Everything was going their way. They scoring. They keeping us from scoring. We really not even moving the ball. A bunch of threes and out. They pinning us on our side of the field. Great field position. So for us to end up coming back in this game, it's crazy. But like I said, I expected going into this game. I knew it was gonna be a tough game. I knew it was gonna be a tough game. I knew it was gonna be close scoring, and I also felt like it's gonna go down to the last minute. If it was anybody that I felt like had the potential of maybe beating us, I felt like it was the Rams more so than I felt like the next game against the Bucks. I mean, they could beat us too, but I mean anybody can. But um, I kind of felt like this was like a gonna be a pivotal point in the on of the schedule was the Rams game. And it was pretty much everything I thought it was gonna be. Now I can't say I could predict that we wasn't gonna be able to move the ball like that in the first half, but as far as how tough it was and how gritty it had to be to get a win, I kind of figured that. But we started out the first half. We actually started off with an interception, so it was looking good. We had Big Mo on our side for a little bit, but the Rams kind of, they settled in and kind of took control of the game. I think a lot of our mishaps in the first half was play calling by the offense. Kevin Patullo. I feel like that first drive when we got the turnover, he called some great plays on that. The get us to the end zone on that. But like it was like once we got our first drive going, everything he was calling after that was just kind of like okay. We did have a couple plays in there where we had penalties or maybe somebody dropped the ball, maybe just a good defensive play or whatever. But it was a lot of plays on there. It was like, bro, what is he calling? So the first half, I felt like a lot of it. Then you gotta think Lane Johnson also went down in this game. That kind of hurt us as well. We had to adjust to that. As we know, Landon Dickerson is, looking like he like 40%. He ain't out there playing his best ball at all. I think it was you who said, he need to sit out for a while. Like I agree with that. I was thinking that last week. I was like, man, we might need to sit Landon Dickerson for a while. I know we kind of want him out there, but if he ain't 100% and he out there being a liability, is basically like he ain't out there. So I would rather have somebody out there who's not quite to the talent of him, but who's 100%, out there. So um we gotta tighten up on the O line, whether it's the backups, the starters, or whoever. We gotta figure that out. I think a lot of our problems early on has been the O line. We're not used to having a whole lot of O line problems, so we do got to tighten up on the O line. Play calling has to tighten up, but we did come out in the second half and pretty much do what we needed to do because going into the half we was like, man, we got to come out in the second half, we need to go ahead and score. Now we didn't score right away, we actually gave up a score right away. I think we turned the ball over, something like that. So
Mhm.
yeah, Hurts
Chip
got
Chat fumble, I think.
Hurts got hit, because of that O line I was just talking about. Verse beat prior on the move, hit Hurts and he fumbled. They and the Rams got a score, so everything for them was going kind of ideal. I personally feel like if we in that same position, we up like that on the Rams, they ain't coming back and winning that game. But anyway, we was in a position where we needed to come out and score right away. Didn't do that. Actually gave them a score, and then after that, we kind of just went right down the field on our next drive and scored. And we pretty much was we was on a mission after that. We scored again. We was getting stops. We held them to about 7 points, 10 points in the second half, something
7,
like that.
7.
Yeah, so for us to come out in the second half, and that's pretty much been our MO since we had Fangio. You come that
Tighten
second
up.
half, you ain't gonna get a whole lot of nothing. You might get like one score or something like that. So for us to come out in the second half and do that against the Rams, that's like right up our alley or whatever. If you gonna crush us, you gotta crush us in them first two quarters. But so we made some halftime adjustments. It seemed like we started to go into the tight end a little bit more. I wish we still could have went to him more than what we ended up doing. But Hurts and AJ kind of got it going. Him and Smitty kind of, they always got a little connection going. So he feeding Smitty. He kind of spread the ball around a little bit too. I think Mechie had a catch in there. I think feel like somebody else had a catch. Oh, Jahan Dotson had a couple catches in there, so Hurts got to spread it around. And I think um Kevin Patullo, I it's gonna be interesting to see how um because we gotta understand there is gonna be some growing pains with Kevin Patullo as well. So
Mhm.
it'll be interesting to see his adjustments off this game because I do feel like he started calling a better game that second half. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, how he calls the next game because I feel like a lot of the stagnation in the offense is from play calling and play calling, whether it's the actual play or the route concepts in the play that he calling or the timing of the play. Because like I said before, I think one of the best things we had in Shane Steichen calling plays is the way he sequenced, the way he called plays. I think he always knew how to play one play off of another. I think he was very, very good with that. Um, but yeah, so we came out in that second half and basically did what we needed to do. Jordan Davis, oh my God, he was even before Jordan Davis. So we all know Jordan Davis got that huge block at the end of the game, but to keep them from winning with a walk-off field goal. But um, even before that, man, he stopping the run. He had key stops in the run game. He getting pressures on man. He was being the breakout standout player that we said that we thought he would be. So to see him these 3 games in a row, if you notice, he did great in that Dallas game. He did good in that last game, and he just really just stepped it up this third game of the season. So we just at this point we kind of need the Jalen Carter that we know to come along with him, and the middle of that line gonna be unstoppable.
Mhm.
I think Carter got some injuries he going through right now, whatever. Hell, we might have to do something with him. I don't know, but um, if he need to heal up, we need him to heal up. Um, but uh, but yeah, so defensive line was looking good. Now they was getting off in the run game. That's one thing I kind of left out about the first half. I didn't like the way the Rams was getting off in that run game. But I'm glad, when we get to play teams like that, we get to see how teams try to, um, whether it's passing game, run games, how they scheme and stuff, how they block and stuff, how they run and stuff, just stuff we know other teams are gonna try to take and be successful with. So the fact that they kept being successful with it, as a copycat lead, other teams
Mhm.
we'll try to do that. So it's great for us to have that on film. So that's one thing we can go ahead and take away now early in the season. Hey, if we ever see this again, this is how we, you understand? So I'm glad we're getting to see a lot of these good teams, good quarterbacks, and good coordinators early, so we can start, basically putting these things in our toolbox to the sharpen everything we need on our way to this playoff run. So but yeah, I didn't like what they was doing in the past, in the run game. Now in the pass game, they did good, but Stafford missed a lot of throws. I think they could have really opened up the pass game way more than they did, and for us to have guys out there like a Dory Jackson, I felt like they could have attacked us more. So I feel like we kind of held our own in the pass game. I feel like it could have been a much worse game than that through the air. So for us to do what we do what we did all the way around, I ain't really too mad at the pass game. There's some stuff we can clean up, but I ain't too mad at it. Um, and to finish off what I was saying about Jordan Davis, it came down to the end of the game. First off, him and Jalen Carter, they already had blocked the field goal. Jalen Carter got his big hand up there, basically knocked it down, and I think it, bounced off his hand, hit Jordan Davis, and they kind of got it down together. But next field goal attempt they tried, and I just knew they was gonna make it. I was like, dang, they got a little run. So what had me thinking they was gonna make it was the run they did right before that. They had like a little 4 or 5 yard run. I was like, dang, that's probably gonna be just enough for them to, get it over the line or whatever. But Jordan Davis was like, hold my beer. Um, and he got it. He knocked it down for the walk off block, touchdown return, field goal block touchdown return. So
Crazy.
that was a crazy game, man. I kind of had lost my voice for a while there. My throat still hurting actually. But that was a good game, man. I kind of put it up there, like you were saying. We kind of was talking about this, but kind of put it up there with that Bills game from the 23 season. I know y'all don't want to hear nothing about the 23 season, but especially after I know how a lot of people been feeling about how this season started. But that Bills game for me was like really showcasing of like what Hurts can do. And I always felt like if that had been any other quarterback than Jalen Hurts, they would still be talking about that game. So I feel the same way about this game. Hurts did what he needed to do to come back in the game, and I know a lot of people was gonna blame this game on Hurts had we lost. Hurts not doing this, not seeing this or whatever. So for him to come back in the game and win off his arm, because as we know, Saquon didn't do a whole lot. They was making it a point to stop the run. So for Hurst to come back, and when you down that many points, a lot of it's pretty much gonna be off your arm anyway. You're gonna throw some runs in there to keep them honest, but you ain't gonna do too much without your quarterback making some plays. So for Hurst to get us back in this game and help us win this game, man, I'm glad he was able to do that. But I still know even nobody's gonna talk about it. Like I said about the Bills game. Had that been somebody else, they would be highly talking about the play, the person, whoever. But they're not gonna do that for Jalen. They gonna probably talk about the first half of the game and try to blame some of the reason why we was in that position on him and not even giving him no credit for the comeback. But we seen Brady plenty of times having okay games, and then the second half of the game he come back and win the game, and everybody was, you see what Brady did, Brady again, whatever. So I'm not looking for them to give Jalen no kind of kudos or points or nothing for this, but it is what it is. He'll get it from me. I know what he's capable of, but that's pretty much all I got. It was a great second half, man, to close it out against a team who really, really wanted to win. They was basically already celebrating. I know they were celebrating on the sideline. I seen Verse over there hype way before we really got back in the game, and I know Sean McVay was ready to. I know he was. I could see it in his eyes. He was so happy over there. Dang, we finally got him. Nah, bro. And I know the fans, I haven't looked on Twitter. I know the fans was going crazy. They probably on there talking junk. The Eagles fans, we got them. Whatever. Hey, say you gotta wait till the clock hit the double zeros, man. We got you.
Gotta be quicker than that. Gotta be quicker than that. But yeah. Just to kind of piggyback off of what you said, that everything went wrong in that first half. Like literally every part of the game that you can think of, we look bad at. So from the offensive side to the defensive side to special team, what was up with these knuckleballs that they kept kicking on the kickoff? We lost the what do you call that? The field position battle, everything that you coulda lost, we lost in that first half. And then the only thing that the bright spot in that was that the defense was still able to hold these boys to 3 points multiple times. Now, what they won't point out is the fact that um, Stafford missed a whole bunch of throws. I would say about 5 or 6 throws that could have put us away, either by extending the drive or scoring a touchdown. He missed those, and I know for a fact if that had been Hurts, oh man, it'd have been a World War III. But I think that's probably the biggest point that's only going to be made on this show. Really, Stafford cost him that game. Is good as he played, I don't even know if he's good. He played well enough to win, but I would say the plays that you needed to put us away, he didn't make. And that's like the biggest thing about it. The other thing, like I said, the field position. Every time they kicked the ball off of those weird knuckle balls, we couldn't catch them. And that we ended up inside the 10, inside the 20, the whole first half. It was just a weird game, and nothing was going our way. Kevin Patullo, I don't even know what he was calling in the first half. It seemed like we just kept running the same play, just running Saquon up the middle, trying to run Saquon on the edge. It wasn't even a whole lot of edge. It was really just trying to run him up the middle. And then we in a third and long situation without our starting right tackle, and just up a creek without a paddle. So the one bright spot was that they couldn't really put us away with touchdowns. So when we came out of halftime, I was thinking, okay, we scored this touchdown coming out of half. We right back in this thing, right? So we come out, what we do? Strip sack, fumble, Mr. Protection. So more of the same. It was kind of sloppy penalties. It didn't feel like we would win the game or even have a chance to win the game until we finally score in the second half, right? So get a wide open look to Goddard. We hit him for the touchdown. That was a huge play. So after that, that's when you could start seeing the offense kind of come alive a little bit, which I was grateful for because nobody want to see their team get beat thoroughly for 3 hours. So I was glad that they at least showed some fight. And then defense started getting stops. And you look up, we got the ball with a chance to take the lead. So at that point, we hit Smitty to go up by one. I'm like, oh, we got this one in the bag. They done messed up and let us in the door. So we go for two to try to go up by three. Obviously, we missed that extra point. And then it's all up to our defense. Now, like you said, we had not stopped them from running the ball all day long. They've been killing us in the zone scheme, getting whatever they want off play action. Um, as far as exploiting our back end, I think we did hold up for the most part. I think a lot of teams is letting us off the hook. And that could be for whatever reason. I'm not really sure why. This is the first time we really trailed like that for them to be in a situation where we had to like pass. Uh, but no one has really like exploited the fact that we kind of weak in the back end, like not for the whole game. Like you seen obviously drives, quarters, even in the first half where we kind of look suspect, and then in the second half, Fangio just figure it out. He adjusts. For whatever reason, maybe the pass rush get there more, but it just always seemed like we figured it out in the second half, especially defensively, and put the clamps on them, just enough to win the game. And then with everything that we went through, they still had a chance to win. Marching down the field, and Jordan Davis, who unquestionably is the player of the game for not only blocking and returning the kick, but everything that he did leading up to that, from pass rush to run stuffs to running down Stafford on that third down to give us the ball back to even put us in the position to, go up and take the lead. So um obviously that's an easy one for us to give defensively. Who is your offensive player of the game?
Offensive player of the game. Damn, ah, it's between Jalen and AJ. Cause AJ, whoo, on that catch when we had to have it. Not only did he catch it, he didn't bowled my man over.
Stepped over, man.
He done doggone ran over like two people. Man, there was a clutch, crucial catch in the game.
Hmm.
But also Jalen for like keeping us in the game. Now he did have a one turnover. But
I,
it could
I
have he
can't
could have
even blame him for
he
getting
could have
smashed though.
yeah, he could have added insult to injury by like throwing a pick or something like that. And he didn't. So like by him taking care of the ball, um, it basically kept us in that game. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give it to trying to think. AJ had a few clutch catches. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give it to I'm gonna have to give that. I'm gonna give it to AJ. I'm gonna give it to AJ because he had that deep ball on the right side. I think that was a touchdown scoring drive that ended up. He had the other ball on the other side. Yeah, I probably had to give it to AJ. But I can see it going Hurts too because he took care of the ball. Somebody had to get the ball to AJ, but I'm gonna give it to AJ because he could have easily have dropped any of those catches, and those drives would have went way differently. Even though Hurts got on the ball, so I'm gonna have to give it to AJ for being clutch in the moments because he had few clutch catches. Like not only those two, it was another catch he had on that same drive where he truck dude. So I'm gonna give it to AJ on offense and defense. It's got to be Jordan Davis. Jordan
Yeah,
Davis, even outside of the blocked field goal, he was having a game. So, um, it's no question Jordan Davis.
yeah. I had to give it. We already knew. Like we called that before the game was over. I was like,
Right.
yeah, ain't no
Yeah,
way
that was
he not the
before.
yeah, before he
Yeah,
even made the block. It's
block.
like
Yeah,
ain't no way he not the player of the game. Like once he ran down Stafford to give us the ball back, I was like, yeah, that was it. Then he put a cherry on top and a bow. But offensively, I gotta agree with you. Since you did pick AJ, I'll go Hurts because um first it is AJ is the offensive player of the game. But since you already picked him, I'll go Hurts.
right.
It was a rough showing all around for the offense. But when you think about it, when we needed it, Smitty stepped up. He hit him. He hit Goddard for the touchdown to get us back in the game. He hit Jahan Dotson a couple times. Like he did a good job of spreading the ball around to all his weapons like he's supposed to. And even when, offensive line wasn't blocking the best, he never wavered. He's still QB1 that we know him to be. He didn't fold. So at the end of the day, he is exactly what we needed to win this game because it would have been easy to get discouraged, especially without Lane Johnson. We typically don't win games, and we don't win this type of game without Lane Johnson. This is normally the exact kind of game that we have against the Bucks. Literally every year we have a game. When we have a rough game against the Bucks, we down like one or two receivers, and then the game typically start like this against the Bucks. So for us to come out, not only survive this game, but to win this game. The score, this was a crazy game. This is an instant classic for me. Like you said, this is right up there with the Kelly Green game against Buffalo in 23. I don't really know no other games that can go above those two games, like in the Hurt saga. Obviously, the Super Bowl performances are up there too. But when it comes to regular season, it just seemed like Hurts just plays his best when his best is needed, and it's not even something that you can like measure. You just know. We always got faith in the fact that he gonna be able to make the play when we need it to be made. So you never really out of a game when you got somebody like Hurts. Like he really is a dog. So for that reason, I got to give it to him. Um, just for overcoming everything and finding a way to squeak out the win with the game winning touchdown and game winning drive. So that's who my player of the game is. But before we turn the page on this one, let's hear from my sponsors real quick. Introducing Black Diamond Concentrate from Diamond Collection, a premium mineral supplement crafted to elevate your hydration experience. Formulated with no dyes, sweeteners, or artificial flavors, Black Diamond Concentrate is 100% natural. Just 2 dropfuls added to a 16.9-ounce bottle of water can transform the way you hydrate. Order today at poweredbytmb.com and use code DSP at checkout to receive a 20% discount. That's code DSP. All right, let's get back to the show. Welcome back. Welcome back. Did you have any more points when it came to the Rams? And before you go, this kind of felt like the Super Bowl for the Rams. Now I know as the Super Bowl winning team, we gonna pretty much get that on a week in and week out basis. But you could tell that this meant more to the Rams than just playing the Super Bowl champs. Obviously, we ended their season last year. Not only did we end their season, we kind of embarrassed them a little bit because they couldn't stop Saquon either time. And we put them out the playoffs. They also felt like they was this close to beating us, and they felt like they should have beat us in the divisional round and advance to the Super Bowl. But it just was little things like every time they got a sack, they would do like this little celebration with the wings. And like you said earlier, they was hype on the sideline, like they was celebrating. This was much bigger. This didn't feel like a regular season game. But how did you feel, or did you have any final thoughts about this game against the Rams?
Nah, really, everything you just said. Like I said earlier, if it was, if the football guys came to me and was like, "Hey, you want to win one of these next two games, the Rams or the Bucks, which one you want?" I'm going the Rams because they was talking too crazy. Like I said, they wanted they get back for the playoffs and for, like you said, kind of embarrass them last year with like how Saquon was doing them. Then they had the narrative of, well, outside of those couple runs, if we stop those, then we win the game, bro. No, y'all, look, we gonna always do what's necessary to win the game. Like you said about Jalen, he gonna always do what's required to get the job done. Like if a lot need to be done, he gonna do a lot. If a little bit need to be done, he gonna do a little bit. Um, and and I keep saying this, but this is because I know a lot of people take stuff like this as a comparison, but I'm just stating the facts. To me, he played the game how Brady played the game. Like how the Patriots and Brady played the game. That's how we kind of like play the game with Hurts. We gonna do whatever need to be done to win the game. If we need to run the ball that game, we gonna run the ball that game. If we need to put it on the arm of the quarterback, we're gonna put it on the arm of the quarterback. If we were looking at good in the first half, when we need to get this amount of points in the second half, we're gonna just come out and do what need to be done to get that win in the end. We seen Brady and the Patriots do that so many times. People act like they forgot because now Brady is the GOAT and they look at Brady a certain way. If you go back and look at how Brady played the game, a lot of those games, you looking at Brady, damn, what the hell Brady got going on? If people was being honest, but it's like a
Right.
lot of times Brady did some last minute walk off touchdown, and now
Now
that's
you
everybody.
forgot.
What? Yeah, that's all they talking about is how he walked off it. Not realizing the whole first half he didn't really do much. Not saying it was on him or not on him, but the fact is if you did something or not. So um I just feel like we play the game the same way. We play the and Hurts play the game the same way. He just gonna do whatever required. He don't even he ain't even necessarily he ain't about getting his stats up. He just trying to do whatever it take to win the game. And you ain't never heard Brady say nothing about his stats. Did we win or did we lose the game? All right, let's get better for next game. All right. But yeah, this did feel like they Super Bowl for all the reasons that you stated. I know they was so happy. They probably had some kind of celebrations. They was ready to walk off the field doing their little Eagle stuff and all. They probably was
Mhm.
gonna be talking crazy to us, to the fans. And for me, I'm just so glad they didn't get that moment because it for them to be. I know they've been waiting on it since they got beat for them to be holding. And then like even when they was in training camp, I remember people was like, "Oh, they say they working on this." So whenever they play the Eagles, blah blah blah, they working on this. So I'm like, dang, they in like training camp, like talking about getting ready for the Eagles or whatever. So for them to have their mind on Philly for so long and it feel like they could have should have won that game, and if this would have happened, and for them to come in there and for them to come in there and have that kind of lead and lose.
Mm-hmm.
They so deflated right now. They so it's like, damn, what can we do? We had the game right there. We got Stafford. We got Stafford. They got Jalen. We know they feel some way. They feel like they got the better quarterback. Hey, what are we doing wrong? We got McVay. They feel like McVay is a better head coach than Nick. It's like, damn. But you ain't. That's your problem. You think you got the better this and that, but you don't. And so for them to have all that built up and still lose that game, I don't know who they got to play next, but if it's a tough game, they might lose it just off the emotions from this game. Just because I know they put so much into this game, they really, really, really wanted to win this game, and so for us to take that from them, for me, feels amazing.
Got to be quicker than that. But yeah, man, just the turn the chapter on it from now. I'm sure that if things work out the way we want them to, that they'll be back to see us in Philly because now we got the tiebreaker over them in the head to head. So from a playoff standpoint, and unless their record is better, they probably gonna have to come to us. Unless we're a wild card team, which is cool. We'll see
we
them when we see them.
we take them how we can get them.
Mm-hmm. Take the crookeds with the straights. But yeah, I'm pleased. I mean, obviously, it had its moments in the game where it was ugly, but ultimately, you play the game to win the game, and that's exactly what them boys did. They kept fighting. Uh, this was a very hard fought game. It took everybody to win it, just like it took everybody to get in the hole that we got. So, um, these games, especially these first 4 to 6 games, are games that are hard. These are hard games for us, and it ain't gonna do nothing but make us better as a team. Hopefully, KP can learn from this and, like you said, pick up where he left off in the second half. The second half, it seemed to find some continuity. He spread the defense out so he can see where the rush was coming from. Had to deal with the fact that no Lane Johnson, with a hobbled, Landon Dickerson, and just overall bad vibes in the first half. So we overcame a lot. Hopefully we can get better from this. And if we either way it would have been a lesson, but it's good to learn these lessons while you still winning football games, especially when they conference football games. So it's another one on the belt. We 3-0. It's time to turn the chapter, or turn the page from the Rams, because we won't have to see them again in the regular season. So with that being said, obviously we know the Bucks is up next, man. Um, Tampa Bay Bucks, they came so close to losing this game today. They got what, a field goal blocked or something like that. They
Yeah.
returned it. The Jets returned it for a touchdown. They marched back down the field, kicked the game winner to keep the streak alive. We will be 2 of 3 teams that are undefeated, but the only team in the NFC that's going up against another undefeated team. So we'll see. Said darn right, it had some ugly moments. Yeah, that 19-7. The 19-7 was pretty ugly, but like I said, a win is a win. A win is a win. But give me your early thoughts on the Bucks and this matchup that seems inevitable that we play them every year in Tampa Bay at this time of year.
Yeah, my quick thoughts on it because I know we're gonna talk about it some more in depth Tuesday, but
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be a tough game, just like this Rams game. It's gonna be another tough game. Probably go down to the end. I know the last few times we played the Bucks, it probably didn't go down to the end because we was down players and they just got on our head early and we never could
Mm-hmm.
get back in the game. But if you look at the games where we really had like majority of our players and it was an even playing field, we won. So we going to this game healthy. Hopefully Lane Johnson can come back. We definitely gonna need him with Haas coming off that edge.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I would hate to lose him going into this Bucks game. Especially with not only is Hodge good coming off this edge, but we know he feeling some type of way about not getting paid in Philly. Then you go win the Super Bowl without me. And then Baker Mayfield is always tough to go up against. He can carve up your defense just like Stafford can if you give him the opportunity. And the difference with Baker is he'll use his legs as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, we'll talk about it some more Tuesday, but it's gonna be a tough opponent. It should be a good game. We did get to see it. The fact that we almost got beaten this Ram game and it was a hard game, I feel like we just got a lot of stuff we gonna go in here and clean up and be prepared for when it come down to this Bucks. And I know the Bucks gonna look at this game and try to use some of the stuff they did defensively. Really, they look at probably the first three games and they use a mixture of all three games to try to confuse Hurts. We know how they try to attack Hurts or whatever. They got some great. I think what separates the Bucks from other teams that play as well defensively is like their linebacker play. So we just got to be aware of that, and we'll go ahead somehow, some way. We're gonna come out of this thing 4-0.
Yeah, man. I can't wait. Obviously, we already know what Todd Bowles brings from a defensive standpoint. He kind of like the arch nemesis over here. And it always seemed like they catch us hobbled. They always catch us hobbled. They don't never catch us at full strength. But it's time for that to stop being the excuse because at this point we can kind of expect it. Like every time we face the Bucks, we're gonna be missing something. So we gotta go ahead and get over that because you just never know in the playoffs what we're gonna have anyway. So this is another one of those teams that could potentially, have something to say in the NFC race. So we got to get this dub. It's another conference win. They know us. We know them. Ain't no more excuses. We got to get this one done. But we'll talk about it some more on the Tuesday show on the full breakdown. But I just wanted we just wanted to come to you with our immediate thoughts right after the game and get that off our chest before we turn the page to the Bucks. But as always, go Birds. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell so you never miss a show. Every Tuesday at 7:30 Eastern Standard, we right here talking Birds, baby. We also go live for primetime sports on Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays. Uh, every primetime slot, you expect to see these mugs all football season. So, with that being said, this is only goodbye for a little minute because obviously we got Sunday night football coming up in just a second. So come join us for that. We're gonna give you the play-by-play, give our thoughts on football throughout the day, how it went, and talk about these Giants and the Kansas City Chiefs. But for now, let's go Birds.
Go Birds. Ah, ah.
Tip your waitress.